Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. This is creating Final Fantasy X's Yuna in Fabula Ultima, a guide by Fabula Points. Me! So once again, like with all my other videos, I'm just going to jump straight into the character sheet. So Yuna, we're going to fill her name. So she is Lady Yunalesca. Let's go in some more. The nickname is Yuna. Pronouns are she, her. Her identity is the High Summoner's daughter. Her theme, I'll say she's got like a kind of humanitarian thing going, because obviously she's trying to save the world and like rescue people as she's going. Her origin, she was born in a place called Bavel. Now, we don't have any bonds as per usual, so let's like skim through the next bit. Fabula points, everyone starts with 3. Experience points, everyone starts with 0. Equipment. So Yuna's equipment is pretty easy to go through, but let's bring it up anyway. Let's go to the core book. Let's put this here. So we're going to give her a staff because she uses a staff in game. Staff in her main hand, and it's willpower, willpower, physical. Zoom out slightly. So the staff is 100 zenith. So let's go. We start with 500. So that brings it down to 400. So we've actually got quite a lot of money to play with here. So if we go to armor, I would just splash out on the Sage Robe. Like it's an item that she can equip in game, and like why not start with better stats than we can normally expect. So we can already say initiative is -2. We haven't done any of the dice. That's 200 zenith, so it means we have 200 left, which is still pretty good. Okay. So we're going to come back to the other stats. So let's sort her stats out. So Yuna is not very strong. So we're going to give her base dexterity at D6 and her might at D6, which means we can finally get insight and willpower to D10, which is the first of my builds to do so. So D6, D10, D6, D10. Okay. So we'll do HP and MP later. Inventory points is always 6. Okay, now let's go back to our stats. So defense is dex die plus 1. So our dex die is a 6, so our defense becomes a 7. And then our magic defense is ins die plus 2. So obviously the ins die is a 10, so that's 12. So she has high magic defense and kind of low defense. Okay, so we get to classes. So what I think for almost all spellcasters, we're going to want to do the Arcanist to start with. Like I mentioned in my Arcanist kind of character, like class dive, um, the fact that you can choose an Arcanum if you first choose this, you know, first to choose to be an Arcanist at start when you start, versus you can't choose it when you gain it later is massive. But also the Arcanist is kind of like the summoner anyway, and obviously Yuna is a summoner, so I think it fits. So we're going to go character level 5. We're going to go Arcanist, and we're only going to go 1 level in Arcanist. So let me actually bring up the Arcanist. That would help. Arcanist. Cool. So free benefits, max MP plus 5, which we'll fill out later. So skill information. So we're going to want bind and summon for our first skill. And what we were going to choose is we've got 2 options for this. So what I personally would do, which is less kind of Yuna-ish, but I think is fitting in different ways, is the Arcanum of the Tower. So not only can we use this kind of defensively to get resistance to people, but we can also cause light damage, which is basically holy damage, which is like obviously Yuna being like a white mage has access to holy damage. We're going to have other skills that let us use light damage. so you don't necessarily need to pick this. But the reason like I picked this over something else is because when you start with Yuna in Final Fantasy X, her first summon is Valifor, and Valifor does like non-elemental damage, and there isn't really an Arcanum for that. So what I would do is I would either go Arcanum of the Tower to get light damage and kind of be on theme. I'm going to put it here. Or the other choice you can do is Arcanum of the Forge, which is your fire damage. The main reason I'd say to go fire instead is if you want to like pretend you're going through Yuna summons. After Valifor, she gains Ifrit, and obviously Ifrit is the fire damage Aeon. So it's up to you guys. I'm sticking with Arcanum of the Tower, so I can do like a lot of light damage, and it helps with each of your allies can get resistance to a chosen damage type, but not you. I think that's really handy, especially as every time you summon this, you choose it. It's not stuck. But obviously, like if you want to play Yuna and pretend you're summoning Ifrit, Arcanum of the Forge is the way to go. So that's going to be our. Actually, I've got space. I may as well write the Arcanum here. Arcanum of the Tower. Let's just copy and paste. I'm just going to put it there for now. I probably, as I'm playing, clean this up better. But while we're low level, this is plenty good enough. So the next kind of class I would go is probably like no surprise to anyone. I'd go 4 levels into Spiritist. So Spiritist is your healer. So Spiritist will go 4. Free benefits of the Spiritist are MP plus 5. Why can't I drag? But you also get to perform rituals. That ritualism. So rituals. Cool. So we can now work out our HP and MP because we're not going to get any extra HP. So HP is your might dice times 5, your might is d6, so that's only 30. Crisis is 15, current is 30. Your magic points is the will. Oh no, I forgot. Plus level 35. So crisis will be rounded down, so that's 17. Current 35. Forgetting you had 5 per level. So magic points is willpower times 5 plus level plus other. So it's willpower d10 times 5 is 50 plus levels 55 plus other. We got it twice, so that's 65. Current is 65, and we have 6 infantry points. Cool, so we got a lot of magic power, not a lot of health, which, you know, screams Yuna, basically. She wasn't a tank. So a Spiritist. We haven't done a build with a Spiritist before, so this is your healing class. The way it works, you take skills in spiritual magic, and that lets you access spiritual spells. And then you have some options here, so I'll just go over a few that we can get later. So healing power means when you target one or more allies, if you have an arcane weapon equipped, which we do, we have the staff, you may have each of the allies recover an amount of hit points equal to the skill level multiplied by the number of bonds you have. So this healing power, at low level, you won't have many bonds and that won't do much. But at higher levels, when we gain bonds through gameplay, that could actually stack quite high. So it's not something I would start with, but it is something to keep in mind. Ritual Spiritism, which means we can perform Spiritism rituals, which is pretty awesome. We're going to pick that. So we're going to pick that first. So we're going to say Ritual Spiritism. Let's do Spiritist rituals. We keep this part shorter. Spirit magic, we're going to take a few of them. I'll come over to that in a second. Support magic, when you cast a spell that targets one or more allies, if you have an arcane weapon equipped, you may choose one of those allies you have a bond towards. If you do, gains a bonus to the next check they perform during the current scene is equal to the strength of your bond. So again, like healing power, this is like the more bonds you have, the better that is. So again, I wouldn't pick this at the start. And then Visme just basically says, if you don't have enough mind points to cast a spell, you can spend twice as many hit points instead. You can't use it if it reduced to 0, and if it would cause you to recover hit points, you instead recover no hit points. So you can't use this to heal yourself. And with how little our health is, I don't recommend this. It might be clutch in certain situations, but I'm going to focus on spiritual magic for now. So we're going to go spiritual magic, and we have 3 of these. So let's go through our spells. So the first one I suggest is heal, because we need to be able to heal people. So each target recovers 40 hit points. The amount increases to 50 if you're level 20, or 60 if you're level 40 or higher. So the magic MP cost is 10 times target up to 3. So obviously this can kind of stack quite high if you're doing multi-target healing spells, but we need a way to heal with a healer. So we're going to start with heal. We'll add it to our spells later. The next one I would suggest is Lux. So Lux is our light damage spell. So each target suffers the high roll plus 15 light damage. And it's, again, MP 10 times target up to 3 creatures, so we can do like a multi-light attack. And the opportunity, if we get a critical success, is each target hit by a spell suffered daze, which is pretty good. And then for the last spell, I personally would go up and I choose Cleanse. So this is like Yorizuna spell in Final Fantasy. It's 5 times target, up to 3 creatures. You just remove all status effects. So basically this means we've got Azuna through Cleanse, we've got Cura, or Cura, and Curaga through Heal, because it scales up for level, and then Lux is your Holy, which I think suits Yuna very well. So that's filling out this section. Let's go back. So then the next part of the next page is other classes. We don't have them yet. We don't have heroic skills, so we're going to do Arcana and spells. So we've already listed them, so I'm going to put Arcanum of the Tower. MP is 40. Target is self. Duration is seen. Let me show you where it says that so you can see. If I go back to the Spiritist, or Arcanist, even we're on Spiritist. So, where are we? So you can action to spend 40 mind points, which is the 40 MP. The Arcana targets, the Arcana, you basically merge with it, so the target will be self, and it's dismissed when the scene ends, or when you choose to willingly dismiss it, or when you like fall unconscious and things. That's why I put all that there. So let's actually just clean that up. So we have all of its details there. So then we want to go back to the Spiritist. Spiritist is... So we picked heal first. So we're going to go heal. 10 times target. The target is up to 3 creatures. It's instantaneous. Why am I copying Lux? Need to copy heal. Lux is going to be the same for the top bit, so I've not made too big a mistake. Up to 3 creatures. Why is my dragging not working? So this is Lux. And finally, we've got Cleanse. We did pick Cleanse, didn't we? Yeah. Cleanse is 5 times target. Again, up to 3 creatures. Again, it's instantaneous. And then let's just clean this up. Cool. So let's just have a look at what we've got. Rituals. We have Ritualism and Spiritism. And I think we're done because this is more Arcana and more spells, which we don't have yet. We don't have any other classes, so let's just be sure we've got all of our name and everything. We don't have any bonds yet because we need to turn that through play. We've got our Fabula points, we've got all of our defense and initiatives, we've got our items, our Zenit, we've got all of our dice, all of our health. We've got the 5 levels and the 5 character class, and we have our 4 Arcana and spells because one of them is the Ritual Spiritism, which we ticked when we were down here. So yeah, so that's how I'd start Yuna off. Um, as you kind of progress, I would just lean into more Spiritist like spells, and I'd probably end up picking up Healing Power, maybe Support Magic. But as the campaign progresses, you might choose different spells to me. Like Barrier is very fitting, but you might not be in a campaign where it's that useful. Enrage, Hallucinations, they're not typically Yuna spells, but like you might want to start with a character because you like Yuna, and then she might develop to something else. So obviously pick what you like. But I think this is a pretty good starting point to kind of bounce off of. So I'm going to end the video there. So this was creating Yuna in Fabula Ultima. I'm Fabula Points. Thank you very much. Goodbye.